So first of all, I'm the first one that need to work on his marketing skills. I was aiming for 30 minutes at least to have a technical presentation, but I take your advice. Yeah. Right. And it's a pleasure, by the way, to heat up the stage for Carter over there. Today, what I'm going to talk about, I want to share with you some of our experience being in industrial environments, warehouses, and manufacturing facilities. So everything starts with a requirement, right? We usually try to get that. Our customers, they want to have it all. When you ask what we designed the network for, they give you, if they give you the answers, they will give you something like, we need to have ability to have data and voice and telephony or whatever location-based services in warehouses and manufacturing. And today, one of the new things are the AR and VR, which is, we see that coming more and more into manufacturing to help the engineers to support or to do some maintenance for machining or remote maintenance for machinery. The problem is we have a lot of, we need to support a wide variety of use cases with one Wi-Fi setup. And we try to take this challenge and take it to the next step and start thinking about how we do it. How do you manage to get voice and location services, for example, in the same environment? At the same time, we need to support also very old handheld devices. These guys cost 1,000 euros maybe, but they still hold them for many, many years. So you build an AC network, but you still need to support a B client because the customer is not willing to change that. They will pay a lot of money for the access points, but the guys using that device, they don't want to change it. One of the other challenges that we see a lot, even regarding site surveys, entering the facilities, coordinating actions with a shop floor, with a factory, it's downtime. Even sometimes some areas we need to enter for survey, and we need to coordinate this downtime, which can take a lot of time, and they're not happy. In manufacturing, downtime is a holy grail. No one touched that. So other challenges that we see, they are mainly environmental challenges. We talk about different metal structures. It's not always shelves. We have sometimes fridges. We have a huge metal wall or something that cause a lot of reflections. One of the things we see also, all these attics environment, explosive environments where they store paint for use in the production process. And there's a link in Wikipedia. There's not a lot of products support attics or certified at least. We see a lot of these products on the infrastructure side, but when we look for the clients, we don't see the clients out there. So if anyone knows about a handheld device which support an attics or comply with attics requirement, I would love to know about it. And we also have some other hazards like high voltage, machinery, and fire protection regulations, which can be really varies from one country to the other. Inside Germany, you have a lot of different, inside the different states in Germany, you have different regulations for fire protection as well, which add complexity to these environments. So things are always changing. Many times we get something like that, and I guess you guys familiar with that. Let's do a site survey, apunistic site survey in an environment like that. All right, I can do that. One access point, it will be enough for everything, probably. And the next day, and it happens really fast. So you can get it in one day like this. In a matter of a week or something like that, you can get a full warehouse and the whole survey is changed. So these are some of the things that we need to take care of. Different goods on shelves. In this case, we have a lot of diapers. So one of the shelf, or part of the shelf is full of diapers. The other part full of wet towels. These baby wet towels, and the attenuation is crazy. The difference is huge between diapers and wet towels. This is something that we learned during site surveys. Areas like this, you design, well, you don't have a lot of places to install your access points, and you design based on full occupation or full production line. At a certain point, they take that part of the airplane and they move it completely. Either they block one of the access points, or they just open the whole area and access points start shouting one to the other. I know maybe I'm not, I know I'm stating the obvious over here with reflection is not attenuation. And we do that a lot in metal environment. When it comes to planning, we don't have an effective tool today. Correct me if I'm wrong, but we don't have an effective tool that can simulate reflections and refraction. And if we have a tool like that, I know there is a tool in the market can do that. How do you calculate these patterns? I mean, at one point when you survey in manufacturing facilities, you can get very beautiful minus 65 dBm on one side, and you just move behind the same barrier that you see. It's could be a scaffold or something like that. You can get minus 78 dBm in just 1 meter. So it's nothing about attenuation. And also, the predictive designs that we do, they don't work if you don't go on site and do your measurements. Some of us, we do some kind of hybrid designs, and hybrid designs are good, but to be honest, I haven't made any successful hybrid design in manufacturing facilities. The best thing, go out there, measure AP on a stick for every access point, because failure is not an option. One of the things we need to pay attention to, also plan for a longer life cycle. Manufacturing, all the production customers that we work with, they don't go into 3 years life cycle. Sometimes you see access points on devices, at least 5 years. And the client side, usually they think or they calculate between 7 to 20 years for a machine, a connected machine. So I'm pitching a lot about Wi-Fi 6 recently, and I say, if you're going to plan a manufacturing facility, then you manufacture a facility, go for Wi-Fi 6. Yeah, think about channel planning. This is one of our largest warehouses, 800-meter length. And the whole concept of channel planning is different when you start planning here, even for 5 gigahertz. We think about using DFS or not using DFS. This is a debatable topic. But if you use DFS channels, try to test it first. Make a short run, a week or 2 weeks. See if you are able to use DFS channels, and then decide to move. I always recommend, if you simulate anything, try to simulate with different levels of inventory based on the information you collect from the site. And don't stop at that black box. It's a Cisco controller. If you're familiar with, I guess every manufacturer has something like that. This is a configuration screen from RRM, and you'll be surprised. I see that a lot. When they configure the RRM, they keep it as default. And there's a lot of complications for this default configuration in RRM. Actually, one of the things that I test and I check at customers is the RRM configured properly to reflect the site survey outcome. Because if you design for a certain dB or certain coverage, and you don't reflect the configuration in your controller, if you use the default ones, the controller will be putting the TX power up and down all the time. And when you do validation site survey, you get surprised why these results are not what I planned for. So it's really important to do that and to take care of the RRM. I do recommend to use a lot of RF profiles. And one of the things might be a little bit debatable. I tend to fix the TX power based on the site survey planning and keep the channels automatic. It works for some customers. Don't take it from me. Test it first and see if it works for you and for your use cases. But in many cases, this helps us to stabilize the network. Yeah, one important message. We talk a lot about environment, so please save the environment. Yeah, good.